Yeah, yeah, I can't. I suppose I can show you. If I take out, let me. Let's have a look. Let me take this out. First of all, I've put my desk. Let me just see. Straight opposite this door. Okay. So now I can see my entire garden, whereas before I could only see half my garden.
Yeah, nice.
So yeah, so which then closed off this door, and we've actually got a front door, and we've never used it. Okay, there it is there. Okay, and then I've created now where my desk was. I've put sort of a I suppose you can call it a bookcase or something like that, I don't know, and move the dining room table around separately. Can you see it all right?
Yeah, no, that's good.
Yeah. So a whole big change, and then I've changed the lounge around as well. We did have the TV where the lounge suite is, where the couch is.
Yeah.
And then we put the TV where the couch is, and then two single chairs that we've got are now facing or got their backs to the kitchen.
Nice.
So it's different, okay, and somehow it's got more energy, okay. I'm not sure if I can really explain that. Let me just. I'm not sure where I'm going to put that thing back. Okay. So.
Very good. Change is as good as a holiday.
Absolutely is. That old phrase is yeah, that's spot on, and I like change. Okay, now Sue's just the opposite. Okay, but she really went with me, and we did it together, and it's. And we've only just done it, and I sort of feel it's like part of a change. You know, historically, I always used to clean out things and throw them away on the last day of December. You know.
Yeah.
And so now, no, this was just I somehow got a really good feeling, you know, about life. Okay. And I thought, you know, my life has swapped around, and in other words, I have up until we came to Australia, well, even after we got to Australia, but I've always been the breadwinner. Okay, and then we came to Australia. It was 50-50. We both worked with Get Set Up and other places, and now since my stroke, Sue is 100% the breadwinner. Okay, and I you know, I couldn't come to grips with that deep inside me. It's difficult to express a feeling, but I just couldn't. And then suddenly, a few weeks ago, it just all left me. Okay, I don't know. It just all left me.
Yeah.
And it's if I'd discovered something on myself, or I don't know what you call it, but yeah, it was. And then I started, this calls for celebration. This calls for reorganization, and so that's how this change has taken place.
Nice.
Yeah. So what have you been doing, or what's on your mind?
Just been working around the house and working at work and stuff. What's been on my mind? Just, I suppose, like with the study I've been doing, was sort of like culmination, a little bit like yourself in some respects, culmination of this sort of realization that, well, not so much a realization, but a reaffirmation perhaps, that this life experience is so much bigger than the five senses tell me. And I knew that, but then maybe it's just knowing it to another level, I think. But then on top of that, then, you know, hard on the heels of that is just this realization, well, you know, you've got a decision to make, and is, do you want to fully participate in this, or do you what? And I decided that I do want to fully participate in it. I don't want to let it pass me by. But then there was also a realization that, you know, there's a responsibility comes with that. And
what was the realization that you want to participate in?
That I want to fully participate.
Yeah, you want to fully participate in.
Yeah, yeah.
What was that realization?
What do you mean?
What are you going to fully participate in?
Oh, life. Yeah.
Just what comes along. It wasn't an aha moment.
No, I think it was, more of a, within the context of the study I've been doing, is that, you know, I want to make sure that I lean fully into every day and take responsibility for that. Whatever turns up, I want to fully engage with it.
Yeah.
And, you know, in terms of, you know, my deep desire to, you know, to be an expression of God's will, that's a significant decision in the sense that, well, if you look at the scriptures and look at some of like the prophets in particular, you know, that wasn't an easy thing to do. It's not a road paved with jewels and honey, that's for sure. But having said that, you know, I think that being that expression brings with it a joy and happiness, you know, which is probably beyond words, notwithstanding how difficult or otherwise whatever it is I'm confronting is.
Okay.
So in that sense, and then I think that the further part on top of that is that it really does, I think, boil down to the issue of discernment, and a bit like you've been talking about for a number of weeks now is having the clarity to discern those things, or even the way you think or the way you're acting, as to whether it's taking you forward or whether it's taking you back. You know, so. And I think that and like in the very simple expression, like you've done there, just that reorganization is about shifting the energy, you know, to put you in a position that, you know, if something comes along that you need to deal with, it, you'll have the best, you know, atmosphere around you to be able to positively do that.
Okay. It sounds exciting, eh? And as you say, your class has come, or your tuition has come to an end, or you're going to?
Just about, yeah. Just I'm in the last week or two of it now, so it's been 30 weeks.
Yeah. Okay.
And that also raises some questions about what next. But I think it's my sense of it is just to not make any hasty decisions, but just to digest and sit with what's occurred over the last 30 weeks. And I think the what next will show itself in due course.
Right, right. Okay.
So yeah, no, I'm quietly excited and content, and
Right.
those sorts of emotions. So yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, no, it's good.
That is good. That's nice to hear. Man. Yeah, yeah.
And it's my my daughter's birthday today, so she's 33 years old today. So
Okay. Hey, you're an old man, eh?
well, when she was born, like I was only 32. You know,
Yeah.
I was 32 years older than her, but now I'm only half as old as her again.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah. Think of my daughter, my oldest daughter. She's over 50 already.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a strange sort of feeling, isn't it, in one sense? But
Yeah, it somehow it doesn't bother me one iota. You know, the living is great. It's peaceful. It's marvelous. It is what it is, and I love it. You know.
I agree. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
no, it's truly a joy to be held. That's for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm. So, what else has been on your mind apart from reorganising and?
Yeah, a couple of things, I guess. One is we should hear imminently about the visa. Okay.
Oh, okay.
You know, they said sometime during June, so we'll wait and see. But I just know that it's going to be approved, and I think that's been part of the weight that's been lifted out of my consciousness that I've just mentioned earlier, and brought about the change, almost like hang on, there's a new energy and it needs to needs to get around me and get into the house and that sort of thing. So but what we want to do is somewhere, we're just guessing now, because every last cent obviously was taken out of our vaults, and but anyway, we want to just get to see you on the East Coast, okay, and Jan, who's also in the same town as you, okay, and then go a bit south. We have a friend that has developed over the last 4 or 5 years, also further down from you, and so we thought, let's go and see that part of Australia. And because part of the realization, if it is that, okay, I think I'll probably be in Australia for the rest of my life, okay? And so I want to get to know, starting with Perth, get to know as much about Australia and see as much as possible of Australia. Okay? And so last week I started process. You know, I'm doing a class for myself. Okay, a Get Set Up type of class. Okay, called My Perth. Okay? And I'm going to create a class for nobody other than myself, but doing research and creating things I want to go and see in and around Perth. Okay, as part of the acceptance of my new country. Okay.
It reminds me, there's have you ever heard of the University of the Third Age? It's in many respects somewhat like Get Set Up, except it's more face-to-face classes.
Yeah,
people take out a membership and then they go to a venue, and there's these series of classes that, I wouldn't say classes, they're like talks like you do with Get Set Up, except they're face-to-face. And one of the topics on their itinerary is getting to know Brisbane through the lens of a camera.
Okay, nice.
You know, I thought that's an interesting context. So
yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's thing. So you can hear from what I've said that it's things haven't officially changed with us because we haven't got the go ahead, but
but you're living as if it's already here, which is fantastic.
Yeah. Is I don't know. We glibly talk about intuition, but and I don't know really where it comes from and where it goes to, or but particularly where it comes from. But one of the things I've been trying to do over the past 2 weeks is, can you believe this? Trying to develop my intuition, and I have no idea how. Okay, but I'll watch, let's say, the Australian Chase, the Chaser, that program. Okay, and I would guess probably 90% of the questions I have no idea what the answers are. Okay, so what I do is they give 3 options. Okay, and I just look at the words and I ask myself, for an intuition, I want an intuition on which is correct. And it's really coming on incredibly well.
And it's not a guess, is it? I mean, like an answer pops into your mind, doesn't it?
Well, it's A, B, or C. You see, that's the question when they're facing the chaser, and then those come up, and I find myself being drawn to just one of them.
Yeah.
But sometimes I possibly read them and so on, but the whole idea is then they choose one, and I know if it's right or wrong. Yet I don't know the answer to the question. Okay, so I'm playing games with myself, but it's fun. I don't think it's going to lead to anywhere, but it's fun.
Yeah, I don't think there's any downside to, like, I mean, I'd characterize that as a form of discernment, I think, and basically what you're doing is, like, use the word intuition, but I think you're just listening at a level beyond your main senses, I think, aren't you? Really?
Well, that would be great if that were the case, and it could well be. Okay, but yeah, I just sense there's just all sorts of new things around or coming.
That's good.
Yeah, yeah.
It's been a long journey for you in many respects, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure.
Are you going to give the Australian government a Google review or anything like that at the end of it? Or?
Yeah, yeah. It's something beyond the Australian government. They've made my journey difficult and challenging and expensive. But they served a purpose, in my spiritual life. So I've come to grips with the lack of importance with the money. So yeah, they've been a tool, I guess.
I think in many respects, like just your faith and your hope, and that, I just think about that GoFundMe process. Like, you needed money, you had no idea where on earth it was going to come from, but hey presto, it was there.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, it's I didn't even really know that GoFundMe actually existed. I was aware that people did crowdfunding or something. You see the word on. I had no idea. I'd never been part of it. I'd never helped anybody else, other than my children, and so I didn't really know what it was about. So it was really interesting. Yeah, it's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it is. Certainly is.
Yeah. I want to plant a lot more roses in my garden now in winter.
So where do you get them from? Like just a plant nursery or something like that, do you? Or?
Yeah, we're fortunate. We've got a lot of nurseries, around us, and we've got Indigenous nursery. We've got 3 ordinary nurseries, and then we've got what's that commercial company, hardware company, Bunnings. Yeah, they've got a very big nursery. I don't know if they all have, but in our place they've got as well. But I historically have only ever planted roses that flower with a perfume, a fragrance. So I would go looking for. I mean, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that I've got in the garden now are not planted in the right place. They're getting too much shade and so on. But they all bloom, and they all have a beautiful fragrance.
Do you find them hard to grow?
No, not at all. Yeah, so I just want to sort of, the last season was to sort of bring the garden onto my patio and so on, which I've now done. We're about a year down the line now, and we've got creepers around the pillars of the patio or the balcony. I don't know what you call it in Australia. And we've we had a fence separating, a tiny fence, little miniature fence separating the patio from the garden. We've taken that all away, allowed the creepers to creep onto the patio, onto the concrete and the pillar. So that's come very well, very nicely. And so now I think that I want the dominance of the garden in the coming years to be roses. So we'll see. We always plant seasonal things.
Roses are like the blooms are just incredibly beautiful, aren't they? You know, and especially as you say when they're perfumed as well. It's just a joy to behold, aren't they? Really.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's lovely to see the ones we have got who are not in the best position, and they just.
So what does the best position look like? Is it like full sun or?
Yeah, it's full sun. It's really what they need. But I can't give them full sun in my garden. I can give them full sun in summertime. Okay.
And do they need like a well-drained soil or well mulched or?
Yeah, I'm a great mulcher, and so my entire garden has been. I started off when we had nothing at all here, with mulching. Okay, and everything that all the leaves that fall to the ground, I just leave them there. So, yeah, and then when I plant something, then I make sure that at least 6 inches bigger than the pot they came in has got really nutritious soil and yeah, put mulch down there as well. So
because roses live for a long time, don't they?
Yeah, they do. They do. And I've got one rose here. I'm looking at it now that most peculiar. I've never had a rose like that. And what it is, it blooms profusely. It has a lovely scent, but unlike my other roses, once it's opened, it dies the next day.
Wow. Okay.
Now, normally they stay on for probably a week or two. Okay, but it just and it just keeps on blooming, and it keeps on dying. They open up. I was looking at one. There's just one flower there now that's open, and I know it'll be like gone tomorrow. And there I can see 3 or 4 other blooms just that. So yeah, peculiar. Not sure what it is. And I've got also I've had a problem this past season with my blueberry. The previous year they really were well, and I realized it was the sun again. I moved them, into a sort of where I could see them more, and just was a disaster. It had far too much shade. Only got an hour or 2 of sun in the summer. So.
And is the sun coverage in that space worse in winter?
Yeah, I've moved it now I've had to put it on a table to reach it higher to try and get the sun a little bit more than perhaps what's on the ground around it now.
Yeah.
And moved it far south. So we'll see. Because the house shades the whole garden in wintertime.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
what direction does it face?
South.
South, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so if I want to get any sun, I have to take my coffee and go and sit in the garage and open the garage door. Then I get, which I do on almost a daily basis. Okay.
Yeah.
Just to get like 10 or 15 minutes sun. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the garden is certainly a pretty special place, isn't it? In terms of, you know, that constant renewal and unfolding and that. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And somehow, probably because of all the mulch, is that I don't get a lot of weeds. Very, very few weeds. And you know, if I see one, oh, then I take it out. But there's really just isn't any space for weeds to grow, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
So how much time would you spend in the garden, like in terms of tending to it?
In terms of?
Tending the garden.
Very little.
Yeah.
Very little. You know, there are pots that are on the veranda that don't get the rain. So in wintertime, I water them either once or twice a week. In summertime, you know, the heat every day. Okay. And yeah, I walk around and you know, when I make smoothies, I go and pick maybe a little bit of this herb or that herb, and so. But I'm looking at it all the time, and of course I feed the birds outside too. We have absolutely a magnificent. I don't know what you call them, a flock of birds. Yeah, that come.
Well, like parrots and those sorts of birds, like.
Yeah, mostly parrots. Okay, we have like an enormous variety. The most number of parrots we've counted here at any one time on the tree and on our arch and our feeder is 16.
Wow.
Yeah, and but they're usually like this morning. You know, they were the same as yesterday morning. There were 6 of them. 2 of them feeding and 2 of them sitting on top of the arch, and all different colours. They're all, you know, got different markings.
And what do you feed them?
Sunflower seeds. Yeah, yeah, and then of course because we got, you know, like the pigeons and the rock pigeons and the doves also come, and then we've got a lot of smaller birds like the honeysuckle, but they don't eat that food, and I don't put food out because there's plenty for the little ones to find food in the garden here, and something's always flowering, some indigenous plant, and there's plenty of water for all the birds. So yeah,
nice.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Sounds like you've created your own little ecosystem there.
It's our suit talks about, yeah. It's absolutely our ecosystem, and as you know, historically we've had a 2-meter snake in. We have from time to time the stump-tailed lizards, and now, interestingly enough, we've got 2. We started off with 1, but we now have 2 rats. Okay? And I've never studied a rat. Okay, and I really don't know much about rats. I grew up with the idea that you poison them, kill them, get them out of your way. You know, that was what I grew up with. And but since they've arrived in my garden, I've been able to study them, and they have the most beautiful face. Okay,
Yeah.
The most beautiful face, sort of, and ears and hair when they look up, and it's absolutely marvelous. And they're one of the cleanest animals on the planet. Okay, and so I've totally changed my attitude towards rats now. And they move so fast. They go up the archway, the hedges, the bushes. They just. I can't believe that that a creature can go so fast, you know, between branches and things. And
would they be like a native rat?
Say again?
Are they like a native rat?
A native rat. What's a native rat?
Like indigenous to the environment there?
Yes, this one is indigenous. I haven't, other than just get some general knowledge about rats, I haven't found a book where the animal books that we've got don't have rats in them. Okay? So I haven't got. I've taken pictures.
Well, ask Google.
Yeah, but then you somehow, I haven't fathomed out how to get Google to answer. Now we've got this camera app or something where you point something at it, but up to date, you point it at plants and it tells you what plant it is and so on.
Okay.
I haven't tried it with a rat, and
it'll probably just come back and say it's a rat.
Well, I actually, you've given me a good idea. I think I've tried. Obviously, I can't point the app at it, but maybe I can show it the picture, and or maybe start by doing some research of, you know, what are the names of Australian rats, you know.
Yeah.
And but talking about AI, Don, I had a marvelous experience today. I was doing a class, which is a repeat class, and I don't get doing for research in it, but as you know now, I try and research all of them. And I was doing a class that's called Amazing Worldwide Wonders, okay? And basically the class is things that are perhaps historically older than the pyramids, okay, around the world. And so I was...
How old would they be?
Sorry?
How old would they be?
Yeah, 4,500, 5,000 years old. Okay. Older than Stonehenge as well. So what I did, can we share screen here on Skype?
Yeah, down in the bottom right-hand corner.
Bottom right-hand corner, let's see. Take snapshot, change background, turning off video, hold call, audio and video settings. Yeah.
There's a just beside, like, can you see that pulsating heart? Is that on the bottom of your screen?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, well, just beside that, to the left of that, on mine, it's got share screen.
Oh, yes, on mine too. Okay. Let me just let me just tell you that what I did first, and then I'll go and look for it, and I'll share the screen. I would find a spot, a very old site. Okay, let's. I'm trying to think of an example, but I'll show you an example. But yeah, there was a very, very, very old winery in Israel that was found in Israel, and all we've got pictures of the, you know, the ruins and what they've managed to uncover from and so I said to to 4 different AIs that I work with. Okay, I said, create me an image of what this winery did look like in its heyday.
Yeah.
Okay, and oh my God, you must see. That's what I'm going to show you. Some of those things. Let me just say there. Where we are. Me seeing that. There isn't any sound, so that's fine. Now, why doesn't it confirm stop sharing? Are you seeing switch screen or window? Why?
Yeah, I can see this picture of columns, like looking down. It's like a passage
but why
of columns.
can't I see it as well? I don't want to show it to you and I can't see it.
I can see your mouse over it and that, but anyway.
Sorry?
I can see your mouse moving around over it, so.
Yeah, I don't understand. I've double clicked on it. Surely we say switch. That was switch screens. That didn't help very much. Sorry, I've never shared with Skype ever. Switch screen or window, confirm, stop sharing. Anyway, maybe what I can, let me just take away, let me minimize Skype, okay? Yeah, that's probably going to, there, now I can see what I'm showing you. Yeah, so this one was a very, very, very old pyramid in Egypt, and I asked her, what did it look like inside in its heyday? You see, and that was one of the pictures. That was another one of the pictures. Okay. And that was another. And I think there were 4. Yeah, okay. Because I then went back to it and I said, listen, this is where there were 4 geese that are famous that were uncovered, you know, put the geese into, so that really doesn't look like a goose, but anyway, it came up with that. Then let me show you, let me just see where the other one was. Oh, yes. Oh, my God. Yeah. This is Coral Super. Okay. It absolutely a magnificent picture. I don't know if you've ever heard of Coral.
Don't think so. No.
Yeah. It's the heyday was around 2000. Can you see the writing underneath the picture?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And it came up with this, and absolutely amazing picture. Now, you know, that's brought a new insight to my Get Set Up now, because now when I do this class, I'm going to show the ruins, and then I'm going to show this AI image. And then there's one more that I had. Oh, wait, that one's gone now. I've closed it, I think. Yeah. There should be somewhere down here where there's some I did it on here. Anyway, I can't see where my stuff is stored on this one. But also did it, and let me just have a look, because search. Let's go to safe search history, and maybe if we do search history, what's that? No, it's not what we're looking for. Parents, themes. No, can't see. Anyway, I must actually find that, because in fact, while we've got the shared screen, let me That's another one. Let me just see. Yeah, let me.
Would it be up under that collections tab?
Say again?
Would it be up under that collections tab? Just above where the mouse is there at the moment?
Oh yeah, this is where my mouse is at the moment. I'm going to show you where I saved some of them to my computer.
Oh, okay.
And that was one. Okay.
Mm.
Let me just. Yeah. Okay, that's the other one I showed you before. Now, this was only this afternoon I discovered this, so I'm sure I can.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, can work with it a bit more. And I mean, the one that is the most amazing for everything at the moment, and that is ChatGPT 40. It is like it's like, God, if this is the way AI is moving forward, then before we know it, we're going to have human beings in our midst that are AI.
Yeah, it seems to be learning at an incredible pace, doesn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. I really enjoy AI. I have a great interest in AI. That's where I asked them for the geese in that one pyramid that they unfold in, and they came back with that. And then there are a few. Oh, this was out. You can almost see from the picture. This is in England. It's called it was something stone. Oh, Skara Brae. It's on the top, and virtually nothing there now. And yeah, so. This is another one. This is a different AI with the same location. Okay, so each AI comes up with their own thoughts what the heyday looked like.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, I just wanted to tell you that.
Interesting.
And
it's an incredibly powerful tool, isn't it?
It's an absolutely amazing tool. It really is. Why can't we get back now? Here we are. And there's share screen. Oh no! Have I cancelled? What can you see now?
Just you. Yeah, the share screen's gone.
Share screen's gone.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that was today.
Interesting.
Yeah, learning a lot. I just feel that there's, each day is like an exciting day, and as if I'm unfolding or uncovering or something. So,
but is your view still that the secret to using AI is the questions that you ask it, like the information that you give it?
Sorry, ask that question again.
Like the results that you get from the AI.
Yeah.
Is that dependent on how good the question is that you ask, or the type of question you ask?
Yeah, and the same with the description you give it to draw.
Yeah.
And I was experimenting a lot with that today. I was giving them like 500 words to describe what I want drawn.
Yeah.
And then, but if I only gave one sentence, like if I just gave the name of the ruin, okay, it wouldn't be as good as me telling it some information that's been gained from investigation of the ruin.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to classes, I can if I'm starting, which I don't get any new classes these days, but if I was going to do a new class, I would just ask it to give me the slides, give me the images, give me speaker notes, okay, and the lot.
Wow. Really? Wow.
Yeah. Then I start tweaking it, okay, because it gives it to me in the way it wants to give it to me.
Yeah.
Then I would say, give me more information about that Sydney Bridge. You just scanned on it. Sure, and within 30 seconds, it gives me a whole lot more information about whatever I'd asked it for.
Wow.
Yeah. And the class that I'm doing the day after tomorrow is Google Earth, doing Sydney with Google Earth. Have you ever played with Google Earth?
Oh, just a little bit, but not in any great not in any great length. I know that there's people out there who meticulously go through it looking for images and things like that, of different localities and zooming right into almost at street level, so.
Well, it is at street level. Shall I show you? I think I might still have things open again. Let me just have a look. Now, well, let's just create a blank screen, and then we'll just not sure. Yeah, so it defaults to where I was working on it. I was working on, as you can see, there's the Sydney Harbour and the bridge and all the other points. And you can zoom out and get a perspective, or you can zoom right in to one thing that you particularly want to do. It's just, then you can put it in 3D, and you can go closer or further away with 3D. Okay, and then you can get a street view as well. Sorry about that. It's behaving rather slowly at the moment. Yeah.
In a restaurant.
Yeah, on the harbour, you can see the harbour is there. You can move it around. you can do a 360 on that spot.
Amazing.
It's absolutely incredible. Can you see the square on the right-hand top corner?
Yeah.
The black square.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not. I just wanted to know if you saw it, because I haven't presented my first class yet. That's coming up, so I'm not quite sure. So you can choose whatever is, there's the Heritage Hotel, and there's Roxton Museum, Circular Quay Museum of Sydney, and so on. And you can hone in on those. You can see the botanical gardens here on the right. It must be an amazing thing to visit. Have you been to the botanical gardens, Sydney Botanical Gardens?
No, I haven't. No.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, you could go, on Google Earth and absolutely. Anyway, I'm probably boring you to hell.
That's fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah, I find it. Now I've got, whether I can succeed in doing a class, I really don't know. But anyway, there we go. Yeah.
So it's even got dates down the bottom to say when the last photos were taken in it, I guess, too.
Yeah.
It's quite recent,
Yeah. Yeah, correct. And yeah, some are old, and
like some of them, they're like only a couple of weeks old,
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So where do we?
Very good.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, that might be a good place to leave it for the day, I think. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. I think I've dominated the chatting too much today.
No, it's been really good. No, it's good.
It's not. All right. Well.
Okay then.
We'll see ya when we see ya.
Yeah, well, next week hopefully. But
yeah. Oh, if we come over in sort of November, somewhere there, just before the holidays begin, will you be home? When do you take your leave?
Yeah, no, I should be around in November. Yeah.
Okay, because we're sort of thinking about November coming to the East Coast. But that's only if we can save enough money and go. The one thing that is that we can do, before the COVID came, we had bought tickets to a flight. Okay.
Yeah.
So we've got to use those tickets. So basically, our flight to the East Coast would be free. Okay. I don't know. It was a Bali ticket. I don't really know, what the flights are, but we want to use that, and we've thought, well, where do we fly to? I don't want to go back to Bali. I'd rather come and say hi to you, and then maybe travel a little bit down the East Coast, or travel around.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Okay.
Good. All right.
Well, you take care, and I'll, as I said, hope to talk to you next week.
Yep, that's for sure. All
right.
right.
Okay then. Right. See you now.
Bye.